Hey, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Today's inspiration is actually from a sketch, and I don't normally use sketches for inspiration during off the board, but I thought this time worked well because I have a ton of photos that I need to go horizontally across a double page. So I am actually stretching this sketch into a double pager. So I have these stamps. These are from Seven Gypsies. They're quite old, like they're mid 2000s. Um, and they are actually not mine. I borrowed them from a friend, and so I decided to go ahead and stamp them. I stamped them in black, and then I also stamped them in the two other colors there, the Catherine Pooler ink. One is stone something, and the other one is peppermint scrub, I believe. And so I stamped them multiple times. I did not make you sit through all of the stamping. I just showed you there how I did it. I put all of the ones that I thought I wanted to use onto my Tim Holtz stamping platform, and then I did just stamp them in one big foul swoop, basically. I did stamp multiples of the black because I'm sure I would like to use them for other particular layouts, like, have them in my stash. Even when I don't have access to using them because they don't belong to me. But I did stamp them in the Skylight and Peppermint Scrub Catherine Pooler inks. So I have all of these photos of Noah with his daddy, and they are being really goofy. In the first few photos on the page, Noah is actually trying to lick his dad, and his dad is making these funny faces. And they're just being really goofy with their tongues out and everything. So I just printed the entire lot of them, and I think there's 8 or 9 photos. And I thought this would just be a fun page to do because I don't have a ton of photos of him with his dad that are scrapbooked because most of those photos I didn't have access to, but I now have access to them because my daughter decided to put everything up on her Google Photos and I can access it. So I thought this was a fun layout to do. It just shows kind of like their personalities together and how funny they are and how silly they can be. So I decided to use all of them. Now, the bottom strip there, I decided to go ahead and add a bunch of those labels, and I'm just layering them up, going all the way across. There's not going to be writing or embellishments in every single label, and that's okay with me. I don't think it needs that. I just think this adds a nice little touch to the bottom of the layout. It gives a little movement to it because the heights of the labels are different, and it just adds some interest to that part of the layout. Now I will be using more of those labels in a couple other areas along a couple of other embellishment areas along the photos. So as I go ahead and put these photos up here, I am just kind of layering them up, not layering, lining them up so that there is some also, visual interest also, so it kind of has that bouncy feel. Oftentimes I go straight across, but because these photos are small in the middle, I didn't want to go straight across and have it just look lined up. It didn't really lend itself to a very interesting composition. So by adding some bounciness, that's not even the right word, but you get what I'm saying, the up and down effect, it kind of makes your eye travel across the entire layout. Now I did add some gray, it's like a gray quartz or granite looking paper, and I just used a border punch to give it some oomph at the top there, and I thought that was interesting and gave it some more of a masculine look. I do have a lot of punches that have like scallops and that kind of stuff, or I don't have very many flower ones, but I have a lot of them that are more feminine, and this is one of the more masculine ones that I have, and it is, I believe, a Fisker's punch that I was using. And so I thought that works really well. I like how it looks. I am just lining everything up with my T-square ruler so that it goes straight across the page. I don't want that to be wonky or bouncy. And I didn't really need to use a whole lot of that gray paper. I just used a strip and tuck it in, so that works well. And then I cut another strip to go along the bottom of each one of those areas at the top. And I don't use a punch on that. I don't want it to look like it's matchy-matchy top to bottom, but I do want it to look kind of like the paper is layered all the way across, and that gray paper really spans the distance underneath the striped paper. So I like how this is coming together. I really like how the paper matches Noah's shirt. And in the photos, his dad's shirt, which is kind of hard to see because it's underneath his sweatshirt, is that reddish burgundy color, which matches the peppermint scrub ink. And there is also a tiny stripe in that paper that has that color in it. So this paper was a really good choice. It is an old basic gray paper, so it's not something that you can still get. I apologize that I'm using old product, but you know, it's in my stash. I want to get it used up, and I think that is a very valid thing to do. Use your stash so that you can work through it and then purchase some newer papers if that is something that's of interest to you. There's new collections coming out all the time, so you know, you want to use it up so that you don't have a stash overflow. Now, I certainly do have a stash overflow, but I am trying not to hoard anything. I'm trying to get it used so that, like I said, when you buy new stuff, you don't feel so much guilt about having too much, or at least I don't. So I'm going to get those embellishment areas. I have 3 of them kind of surrounding the photos, drawing your eye up in that direction. But I am going to create my title work down in the bottom left-hand area of the layout. I am using more of that striped paper and some dies to create my own thickers. I have some white foam that has adhesive on one side, so I peel back the adhesive protector, you know, the part that it's stuck to when you purchase it, and I just lay a strip of my paper down that fits into my sidekick, and I adhere it to that foam, and then I cut the foam along the edge where the paper is, so I don't have really any sticky stuff sticking out to go through the sidekick. I lay my dies down and then just put it through the sidekick. So my title is going to be Goofy Duo, and I really like how the title comes out. I am going to stamp the word duo onto one of those labels on the bottom right hand side, so it's not super obvious that the title is Goofy Duo, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it looking like it just says Goofy. I do add some other embellishments down there, so I believe it'll say something like 100% original Goofy or something to that effect. I don't have the layout in front of me, and I did film it a couple weeks ago, so I don't remember what the sticker says, but it does make sense. So I do end up really liking how it comes out. And the dies that I used for these are from Momenta. I got them at Hobby Lobby on sale, and they are about 1.5 to 1 3/4. I think it's more like 1.5 inches tall. I really like them. I got them when they were 40% off. So if you are interested in dies from Hobby Lobby, they actually just had a sale that had Tim Holtz. It had actually all of their dies were on sale. So you know, just keep an eye out for that, because they go on sale quite often. So whether it's the Tim Holtz ones or the Momentas or Sizzix or Spellbinders, they go on sale frequently. Like, I mean, probably once every month, maybe every other month, but I think it's closer to every month. So keep an eye out for that, because you can get a really good deal on them, and then you don't have to really invest in a lot of thickers. I've kind of slowed down my thicker purchasing. I still use my thickers. I still love them. But I got, like I said in several videos, I got tired of running out of A's and E's. And so I do go to this particular method of adding my titles quite frequently now. And I like the way that that works. So I also like that you can match the paper to the layout, and it makes it a lot of fun. And also, you know, thickers in this size would be very hard to come by. They don't really make them quite that tall. So I am adding some foam to a couple of those labels to pop them up to give a little added dimension. And I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere everything down. And while I adhere that down, I'll tell you a little bit about Off the Board. I'm trying to play along the whole month. Crystal Barrett at Pineapple Paper started this a couple years ago. We do this hop every month on the last Wednesday of the month. So we are using our Pinterest pins for inspiration. Usually you can pick whatever you want. Every once in a while there will be a theme or we will all use the same pin. But usually it's you choose whatever you want. And so for the month of July, we do it every day, or she does it every day. There's a ton of people playing along down below. You can check out their links and go and give them a little bit of love. You can also get a ton of inspiration from the Pinterest pins and layouts that they are making. And not everyone is using a scrapbook related pin. I happen to be today, but not always. In fact, most frequently I am not using a scrapbook related pin. So I am using this stamp set from Jen Scow. I've had this in my stash for a while and I use it periodically. I do love it. I am stamping the word duo. I don't even know if this stamp set is available, but it is from Crafty Jen Scow. And it has these added pieces like this straight line bar that's the right height. It also has a circle that fits inside of the O. It's got a smaller little bar that would fit like on the center of the H. So I really like it, and I'm just stamping it in the same colors that I have used throughout the layout. And now I'm just going through some ephemera. Some of this ephemera is from Felicity Jane, and so I didn't have a ton of ephemera actually in this color. It's kind of an odd aqua. It's not really the same aqua you see in a lot of the collections, and so I was really happy to find it in a package of Felicity Jane stuff that I have. And I don't have a Felicity Jane subscription, but I did buy a bunch of their ephemera and paper during a Black Friday sale a couple years ago, so this ephemera is quite old as well. And there is that 100% original sticker or ephemera piece that I had mentioned that I was going to be adding. I am popping that up onto some foam to keep it the same height as the title. And I really like how it kind of nestles in there. It's kind of fun. And I am inking up the ephemera in black, and I think that looks really nice. I didn't ink every piece, but some of the pieces kind of needed it so that they popped off the page a little bit better. I wasn't sure about adding this tag. I do end up adding it to that little area there, and I'll move the tab sticker that's below it. And I like how that looks. And then I'm not going to add a ton of journaling to this. I'm going to leave this for my daughter to add journaling. She does do most of the journaling on Noah's pages, especially for things that I was not present for. And so once she comes over and does a bunch of journaling, then it will go into an album. But as you can see, I've left tons of room for journaling. There is no obligation for her to fill every one of those labels, as I'm sure she will not. I do stamp the date on the bottom right hand label underneath the last photo there. And I think I might do that off camera, so you might not see that. And so there's really no expectation that she will journal on every label, but there's plenty of room if she has a bigger story that she would like to tell. I like to leave her space, but also I don't want it to look like, oh, somebody left all the journaling off. So she has lots of little areas to put stuff, and she does not have to use every space. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you choosing my channel to check out. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. I do answer them. I don't answer every day, but I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And so feel free to leave a message below. Don't forget to check out everyone else's links, and I will be back again tomorrow with another layout. I will see you guys then. Have a great day. Take care.